What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing my BMT graduation experience. Finally, right? But before we get into the story, let's cover the basics. My name is Michael Inman and I'm an airman in the United States Air Force. I upload a video every Monday, so if you like military and/or Air Force content, definitely hit the subscribe button and make sure you turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload a brand new video. Let's jump into it. Whoa. Two quick things we need to discuss before we jump in though. Firstly, graduation weekend is a lot. It's quite exciting and a little bit sad because you're leaving all your friends. So it's kind of a complex situation, but this is how my graduation weekend went pre-2020 craziness, and probably it will be getting back to it shortly. That actually leads me into the second point. Clearly because of 2020, things have changed a bit, but I'm very aware that the current graduation experience has been augmented a bit. But let's again jump on in. So we're gonna start on the Wednesday of the last week in basic military training. Now by then, we had already found out that we had passed the end of course test. We had already done the final PT test and clearly realized if we failed or not. And by now they had already announced in all of the flights across BMT graduating this weekend, which people would be honor grad or not. And so on the Wednesday, you just start getting excited. You're like, oh my God, I get to see my family and or friends in like 2 days times. Somehow I didn't fail all of these final tests and I wasn't like a total, reject right before, going across graduation stage, right? Like in high school, where you think you're getting a diploma and they say, no, you did not make the cut. Maybe next year. We'll see you summer term, okay? So anywho, Wednesday, that is when excitement starts bubbling because on Friday, that's when all the craziness begins. So then Wednesday and Thursday, you're doing final run-throughs, final rehearsals. Your flight is getting everything ironed out so that all of the procedures and ceremonies go smoothly graduation weekend. On Friday, the day starts quite early, of course, with breakfast, and everyone is buzzing because it's here, you're doing it, it's time to go. So on Friday morning's breakfast, there's quite a lot of excitement in the air. Not only from your flight, but from the other flights who happen to be in the dining hall at the same time. You just feel this buzz. So there's excitement starting in the morning. After your breakfast, which will feel slightly rushed and also will seem to go very quickly, because again, everything's just like, oh my God, it's today. So after your quick breakfast, it will feel like you are going to go back up to your barracks and you're going to change into your Airman's Run outfit or attire. Now your Airman's Run, if you've seen in other videos, is going to be, I don't know, it's kind of, think of it like a spirit run if you have a spirit club in high school. I don't know, like spirit day. It's pretty much like a spirit run because you put on your squadron sweaters if you bought one. And then after you put on the sweaters, you put on your PT shorts or sweatpants, depending on the weather. And all of your family is lined up in this route in the reception center backyard thing. I'm not explaining it like how other people do because I guess I don't have words right now. I can't word. Long story short, there's a reception center building and behind it, there's this huge cement area for ceremonies. So in that big cemented area, that is where your family and friends will be waiting, in which your flight will get into the ordered line and they'll get to the spot where your flight's supposed to be. And out of nowhere, the run will start where all of the flights that are graduating that weekend, they just start jogging and doing jodies and start, getting all hype, but disciplined hype. Look it up. And so we start running this very short, I think it's only a mile and a half, loop. But the way it's set up is that we start the run, what I call behind the scenes, AKA in an area of Lackland where our family can't see us yet. And we start the run and then we go you know, to the area behind the reception center where our families are waiting, and we pass them, and then we do the 8, looks like an 8 motion so that we can pass them again going the opposite direction. And so it's pretty much, I mean, I think it feels very like, haha, you saw me, bye. But hey, I guess it creates the drama. You do the thing, you are told not to wave at your family or friends. That is very important, because hypothetically they tell you that you could just get like, you could just be pulled from graduation. I think you'd still graduate, but you just don't get to be in the actual coining ceremony. So you're doing this thing where you're looking at the person in front of you because, you know, you've been taught that for the last multiple weeks of how to stay in line with the person in front of you and to your left. But like, you're only giving that like 75%, because 25% of your attention and eyes are trying to, on the like low key, find your family in the crowd. So you're like, where are they? And then if you're lucky, you'll hear the people who are able to come for your graduation weekend yelling like, my God. And then you'll like do like a quick twitch of the eyes. And you're like, maybe give them a nod or something. So you like acknowledge them, but you know you can't be like, oh my God, hi mom. That is called the Airman's Run. Following your run to the reception center backyard area, do your little 8 loop, let your family see you looking all like military-esque and everything. Then you just go back to your barracks. It really was just like a peekaboo, like a, there's our daughter, or there's our son, and they're gone. Once you get back to your barracks, that is when things start speeding up even more. You go back, you take a shower, you change into your OCPs or your normal uniform of the day, because that's most likely what you're going to be wearing for the retreat ceremony on Friday. So you put that on, and this is, like I said, where it speeds up, because if you're in the honor graduate situation, that is when you are like rushed out of your barracks, because your graduation ceremony, like you have like an extra little commitment. If you watched my video last week, you know this. So you are really getting dressed. You're like shower, clothes, because you then have to get back to that reception center, back to the backyard that is cemented. So you have to get back there and get lined up in the order that you have rehearsed, because there was already an honor grad rehearsal prior. Or is it the same day? I might be wrong, but I might be right. You might have an honor graduate rehearsal the day of graduation. So that means you are literally running back from the Airman's Run, showering almost first. Your flight might literally be like honor grads in the shower first. I'm pretty sure that happened on our weekend. They were like, our flight was like, either our flight or our MTIs were like, honor grads, shower first now. Because then you have to get dressed. You have to go to the honor graduate ceremony rehearsal. And then after the rehearsal, that's when your families are then walking out of the reception center with their cute little breakfast items, you know, like a banana and everything. And they're like, oh, let's get a seat where we can see people. And then you're like, after the rehearsal, they're like, okay, now get back in the line you were just in, because it's real. It's real this time. No, you go back in to the, you're not in a building, but you go to the like, the secret behind the scenes. You go to the wings. You know, I say that as a nod to theater, you know, you're standing in the wings, you're waiting in the wings. So you go to the wings, even though you're outside, and you are back in the line that you know about. After a long bit of waiting where you're like, when is this gonna start? That is when you are lined, you are walked out, facing the audience. They go one by one, saying each of your names individually. You do, as we talked about, you step forward, you give your pageant wave, 1, 2, salute, and then you roll back so the next person can handle their own moment. So after the graduation of said honorees, that is then when you all are marched off the opposite wing of the stage. Again, you're not on a stage, you're behind the reception center. After you are marched off stage right, actually stage left, but that's only for people who know that. After you are marched off stage left, that is when you then also are still rushing. If you're an honor grad, you're quickly like trying to find your flight, because there is an even larger area that people at the reception center can't see, where all of the flights are getting lined up because the retreat ceremony is going to begin soon. And so if you were not honor grad, that means you were in the barracks, you showered, you got dressed, and then the entire flight was then moved from the barracks to these big parking spots for flights. And then you would notice that the honor graduates, after their quick ceremony, would randomly be joining you. So they're coming out of nowhere, trying to find the flights, and then they find your flight, and they're like, okay, where's my spot? I'm a little disoriented. And so then the honor grads join the flight, and now it's time for the retreat ceremony. Now the retreat ceremony, first of all, I have no idea why it's called retreat, but we're gonna just skip that. Just understand that the retreat ceremony is when you get your official Airman's Coin. It's blue with a little bit of gold, real nice, very nice. You get your Airman's Coin. There are very dramatic songs playing in the background, but we will be discussing that in a future video. You are going to sing the Airman's song and also do the Airman's Creed. And that is when, I don't know if you've seen other videos, but that is when, after the full retreat ceremony, your flight comes to a stop, and then your friends or family are able to tap you out so that you can finally hug your family members or friends, and or one of your wingmen, one of your friends, or just wingmen from your flight, when they're tapped out, if you are not able to have friends and family there to tap you out, they literally will tap you out because they got you. And then you are able to enjoy a base liberty with your family. Following your dismissal from the retreat ceremony, there should be, if it's not on Friday, it'll just be on Saturday, but there should be a tour of the barracks. So this is where your friends and or family, or at least other people's friends and family from your flight, they get to enter the barracks and see how you've been living. So following the tour of the barracks, as we said, you then get to just enjoy a base liberty with your friends and family. And or just people from your flight. If you guys all, unfortunately, weren't able to have specific people from your family units there for graduation weekend, it's still an awesome base live to just really just soak in that this is your weekend. You've actually made it. You killed it. You did that. Okay. Saturday, you wake up, I think, less early, but that's probably not true because you're still in basic training. So why would you get to sleep in? So you wake up at some time, and then you put on your blues. Now, your blues are your more formal attire, and you then go to a place that, if you are at the reception hall's backyard, this is legit what I'm saying to you. These are some bad instructions, but it makes sense in my head. If you're in the backyard of the reception center and then you go over the bridge that's over a highway or big road, you then would be in a big patch of grass, and I'm gonna call it a parade field because I think that's actually what it's called. In the parade field, that is where the graduation ceremony, graduation parade is going to happen. Now, all of this weekend represents graduation weekend, but more specifically, when you were coined on Friday is when you became an airman officially. You are no longer a trainee, you are an actual airman. But your responsibilities do extend past that ceremony because you signed the contract. That's why. So you do have another ceremony that happens on Saturday called graduation parade, or just parade, in which you go over to that patch of grass called a parade field. And if you are the flag bearing flight, all of your flight would have been practicing for the last few weeks of how to hold all of the state flags for each of the states in the United States of America. I was a part of that flight because every graduation week, a flight was randomly assigned a few weeks prior, so they start learning how to handle a flag properly. I don't know. So I don't even remember what state's flag I was holding, but just know if your group is also assigned the flag bearing responsibilities, you'll be holding a flag and you'll figure it out. It's a little heavy, but you'll be fine. So all BMT graduates go to the parade field. They get into the, once again, another parking spot for your flight. The flag bearing flight will have a different spot, of course, because it's more ceremonial. You have to come out to the center of the field, then you got to walk forward. It's like a whole thing. It's a thing. But long story short, the ceremony will start. All of the different flights will walk past the pass and review stand. So think of it as people on a stage announcing a flight as it goes by, and led by, insert MTI name, led by MTI Sergeant blah. And then pretty much after all of your flights march past the pass and review stand, I think there's some more ceremony stuff. I don't really remember the details, but just know it ends eventually. It's a great time, not really, but it's important and it's symbolic. So following that ceremony, you once again get to find your family or friends or your crew from your flight. And now's where the fun begins, because now it's time for your town pass in a pre-March 2020 world. Now, following this parade ceremony, entering town pass land, AKA now is the time when you found your family hopefully had a rented car, or if they're local, they got their own car, and then you get to roll out into San Antonio. Now, I think I do have a video about things to do during your town pass, so definitely check that out. If not, well, I lied to you, and let me know in the comments, and I guess I'll have to make that video. But enjoy your town pass with your family. It's a great time. The most important things, well, the most important rules, if I'm being transparent: no drinking, I don't care, don't do it. No drugs, why do I have to mention that? What's going on here, guys? Clearly. And no leaving the San Antonio greater limit. So don't go rogue. Don't use a town pass and be like, let me visit a friend in Houston or Dallas. You know, just living your life, doing what you want. Don't do that. Don't change out of your blues. That's a real rule. They need to be able to spy on you. They have, like, I think sergeants in civilian clothes all throughout San Antonio, trying to see who's acting a fool. So don't change out of your blues and don't act a fool. And last but not least, make sure you get back to base by curfew. Of course, that's very important, because how are you going to graduate, become an airman, and then literally mess up one of the most like simple kind of rules that people can be provided, like be back by, and you show up an hour late or even 15 minutes late? Like, how are you going to be retroactively put back into training and recycled? Yeah, it would be so sad. How are you going to get paperwork the first weekend of being an airman? No. So my advice to you guys, come back 30 minutes prior. So if they say be back by 8, that means 7:30. Or for my military crew, 19:30. That's what it means. End of story. You heard it here first, folks. So enjoy your day. Go to all the cool things. Make sure you check out the Riverwalk downtown San Antonio, because it's gorgeous and calming. Well, the amount of humans and tourists around you is not calming, but seeing the water go by and the beautiful trees on the left and the right and the random little bridges that are nice to walk over, that is calming. And then on Sunday, so if that's Saturday, last thing that is worth noting for like graduation weekend is Sunday, in which most people only have a base pass in which you have to stay on base, unlike your experience on Saturday. But if you were a part of it, the honor flight, meaning your flight scored the highest in aggregate over a couple competitions, whether that be marching, whether that be uniform inspections or anything else, in aggregate, your flight scored the highest point-wise, you guys get another town pass on Sunday. Additionally, all Warhawks, so people who scored 100 on the PT test, or honor grads, all three of those categories get another town pass on Sunday. So if that is you, congratulations. Enjoy your additional time exploring San Antonio. And once again, just getting to cherish unique memories with your family. But to be honest, your family, if they were able to visit, or friends, are still going to be able to come onto base for a base pass or a base liberty. So it's nice to hang out in San Antonio, but Sunday for everyone who graduated is still an excellent day to make memories with your folks. Because you graduated BMT, you don't even know how many opportunities and how many things you've set yourself up for that are going to be life-changing and that really are just, you're gonna look back on the decision and hopefully, hopefully say that is when everything changed for the better. And so I look forward to hopefully you one day coming back to this video and saying you just graduated BMT. That'd be cool. So keep us up to date on that. Keep the community up to date. And I hope this provided some insight into what BMT graduation used to be like and also most likely will be like in 2022. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you liked the video, definitely subscribe. Also comment and like. Also, if you want to see a little bit more of my face, I'm on Instagram and Twitter at @MichaelAinman_. Wishing you a great rest of your day, and I will be seeing you in 6 days, 7, one of the two. Bye.